The booming economy in China has increased the country's appetite for oil. That is well known. But what you might not know is that prosperity has also increased China's appetite for another commodity, meat. And if you're tempted to say, fine, but why should I care? Here's Celia Hatton to tell you.
The Li family of Beijing has been serving food fit for a king, well, since imperial times. Mrs. Li's great-grandfather was a cook in the Forbidden City, home to China's emperors. Today, this tiny family restaurant still serves the palace's food.
This is what the last emperor used to eat.
Now, many in China are rich enough to eat whatever they choose, especially meat. Each Chinese person devours about 111 pounds of meat a year. Not as much as Americans, 239 pounds, but they're getting there.
People here want to enjoy themselves, so they want to taste everything. We never saw bacon when we were kids, but now it's available.
That's no exaggeration. The Li's generation lived through China's epic famine in the 1960s. 30 million people starved to death when the government turned farms into collectives and ordered many farmers to work in the iron and steel industry. The Li's daughter can barely believe their stories.
People my age, we're still very young, so whatever we want to eat, we'll eat.
Name a meat product, and China's new middle class is feasting on it. From juicy steaks and hamburgers to stir fries and even the Colonel's secret recipe. But there's a problem. China's approximately the same size as the United States, but its land has to support 4 times the population, 1.3 billion people. Year after year of drought has led to severe water shortages, and that means trouble for a country trying to raise an expanding number of livestock.
Cattle, like the ones on this Chinese farm, need feed, and a lot of it. Each animal goes through several pounds of corn and soy a day. And increasingly, that feed is imported directly from the U.S.
China used to export soybeans, but now it's reversed that trend, snapping up more than half of America's soy exports for the past 3 years. It'll soon be the same story with corn. China's hunger is a boon to U.S. farmers.
I don't think your average consumer realizes how much is going over to China and how important that market is for the U.S. economy.
Jim Call's family has been growing soybeans on the same 3,000 acres in Madison, Minnesota for 5 generations. In the past decade, Jim's seen the price of a bushel of soy almost triple, thanks to his Chinese customers.
We're in such a global society that when something happens in China, it directly affects my farm in our grain prices.
China's move up the global food chain impacts American consumers, too. The Department of Agriculture warns grocery prices will rise up to 4% this year. The communist leadership's latest plan includes increasing military spending, improving infrastructure, and growing the livestock industry. From starvation to plenty within the memory of a single family. Celia Hatton, CBS News, Beijing.
That's the CBS Evening News for tonight.